wants to see a photo of my prop airplane going to McCall, Idaho. It's on my Instagram account. I'm new to Instagram. People tell me somehow it's good for me, but like Twitter and like everything else on the internet, I'm not sure how this benefits me other than people looking at pictures. So it's Instagram.com/JMoorSports. You can see a picture of a guy de-icing a prop right next to me. That's nice. Barry Katz, you've been a manager in this business for 30 damn years.
30,
what advice
Jesus.
do you give somebody starting out? Because John Heffron and I said, like, if somebody said, how do you write a joke? I have no idea. I have no idea how to write a joke. But you, as a manager, you do have like applicable things to tell. My only thing I tell people is just do it. Just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. If you're doing a play in Des Moines, Iowa, keep doing that. Get another play. Like, just keep doing it. What's your advice to people starting out?
Well, I think you hit on something right away. Now, first of all, there's no guarantee when you do it that you're going to make it. But that's the only way.
Hold on a second.
I'm not
maybe
disputing.
not make it. But if you, this is all from David Mamet's book, True and False, which you can buy. Hit that Amazon banner at jmoore.com. Clear your cookies. True and False is the book I live by.
Correct.
If you want to act.
Correct.
Fuck, make it. Do you want to act or do you want to make it? Because if you want to, David Mamet wrote in that book, he had a friend that turned down a play that was 16 weeks in Chicago because he wanted to hang around LA in pilot season. And David Mamet said he was confounded. He goes, but they're offering you work as an actor. And the guy was like, yeah, but it's pilot season. Might have been Montaigne. He didn't say who it was, but I got to guess it was Joe.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that if you're in a situation where you are doing it, America speaks. America will tell you whether you're doing things right or you're doing things that aren't going to get you where you want to go. And
mostly America will tell you when you're doing things wrong, even if you're doing them right.
Yes, they will. But let me tell you what I mean when I say America speaks.
Okay.
So let's just use a few examples. Let's take Angela Johnson. If you don't know who Angela Johnson is, she's a comedian. She also was on Mad TV for a little bit. But she was basically not really working any of the major circuits.
This is a great
wasn't
example.
making a lot of money. She was,
Maddie, do you know who she is?
No, I do not.
Sells out every show she does.
Sells out every show she does. And
I don't want to step on your story. It might be too late.
Too late.
But Ryan Sickler and I were at Cobb's in San Francisco. She was there the weekend after me. You know what her credit was on the marquee? YouTube's Angela Johnson.
Thank you so much. That's where I'm going here.
Mad TV, all TV, like 50 TV credits. No. She's got that one thing she did on YouTube that everybody knows. I was like, what?
So Angela Johnson, she was recording, I think it was at the Ice House or whatever, and she just decided to record one of her 5 or 7 minute pieces, which was one of her favorites, and it was getting a great response when she was doing it, but she was doing it for 30, 50, 100 people, maybe 200 people on a good night. So she put this clip of her nail salon bit where she reenacts the Vietnamese people at the nail salon bit. Very, very tone-esque of Buddy Hackett's famous Chinese waiter routine, but, I'm not saying
Or my nail salon bit.
Or your nail salon
Or Dad
bit.
Fan's nail salon bit. There's not too many avenues you can go down when you're mocking the Vietnamese. Do you want square or round?
Yeah, so she puts it up on the internet, and
I got a new spin on it, bro. I got them all on bikes.
Tens of
Hold on. Ring, ring, ring. You want tandem? Want wheelie? Brick doesn't hold the mic to his face to laugh.
And we're going to talk about that, too.
All right. What, wheelies?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the differences. So she does this. Tens of millions of people watch it. All of a sudden, she's getting the improv gigs. Okay. Now she's selling out the improvs everywhere she goes. Now she gets the call from Mad TV. because she did that. I'll give you another example. Bo Burnham, a 17-year-old kid in his bedroom in New Hampshire or wherever he is,
jacking off and with
putting the
sweats
guitar on and just playing into these silly, unique, fun songs that are like people seem to enjoy. And there's 300,000 other motherfuckers who are playing on their bed with a guitar. But this guy, 50 million views for his thing. All of a sudden, he's getting offered a Comedy Central special. He's like, kind of like Bob Newhart when Warner Brothers Records asked him to do a record. He's like, I don't do stand-up. I've never gone on stage in front of an audience before. That's okay, Bob. That's okay, Bo. Just do the special. And he does a Comedy Central special, and he sells out all over the place. Then sooner or later, Judd Apatow was asking him to write songs for his movie. And that's what happens when I say that America.
This is the first generation where you can do it in your bedroom with a guitar. Like when your mom used to be like, "You got to get outside and get some fresh air." Mom, I'm making myself a career with Judd Apatow right now, Ma. By the way, Maddie, Angela Johnson nail salon bit is 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. I want you to guess how many YouTube views it has.
Let me see. 20,000.
I'm going to say 50 million.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. 3.5 million.
29 million.
Okay.
From a nail salon bit.
See, I was going to say something like that, but then your face made me backtrack to 20,000.
Well, yeah, because he had already said millions of hits.
So I just want to keep going on this.
Sorry.
So
and by the way, I apologize for kicking the shit out of your Angela Johnson story. I didn't realize
Don't worry about
I didn't
it.
realize your Angela Johnson story. It was my Angela Johnson. Oh, I just thought of this about Angela Johnson's
It's
story.
okay because we're going to go one step further with that.
Whoa.
So
Put her on a bike.
your podcast, okay? You decide to start doing a podcast. How many people were doing podcasts when you started doing it?
Thousands.
Thousands, tens of thousands. And you look, if you were to do research about the people who were doing them then and how many people had listened to their podcasts, you started like most people listening today as an actor, an actress, or whatever you're doing. You started at zero. It didn't matter if you won an Academy Award or sucked a homeless guy's dick behind a dumpster the day before. It was 0-0. You got in front of the mic and you started your first one.
With you. You were my first guest.
I was the first guest. It was I still one of the proudest moments of my life being your first guest on this podcast.
Sweetheart.
I'm serious.
You're fired.
Not the first time I've heard that this week.
Not for me. You never heard
Not for
it.
me.
Because you know why? We fucking communicate.
That's right.
I was saying this to Brian Callen the other day on the phone. We're going to get right back to your point. Don't worry, everybody. I said, I don't mind when people fire their managers. What makes me insane is the 8 months that you kept that you wanted to fire a manager in your head alone and didn't communicate to your manager, I don't like that you're doing this, 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 and this. There's no other business model where you keep the... Look, I don't know. I'm closing the doors in the car wash, but don't say anything to anybody because they might fix it and we might make a profit.
That's right. One of my favorite stories about that, and we're going to get back to your podcast. You're going to love this. Is that Dennis Leary? Okay, it was one of my good friends, and I still communicate with him, but not as much as I used to, unfortunately. But when he was in Boston, I gave him the Thursday night show at my club. He wasn't really working. I gave him the Thursday night show.
Play it against Sam's.
I played against Sam's. And he was a guy who just did it his own way. Like he would put Janine Garofalo on every show. And she wasn't doing well every show. And
come on.
And I'd go up to him after like 10 weeks. I said, Dennis, do you think maybe you should, try somebody else or do whatever? Only time he ever got mad at me. Fuck you. She's funny. I like her. She'll be on my show every week. Or you can cancel me from the show. And he had no other shows. But anyway, so he got hot because, like all of you should do, he wrote something for himself. No Cure for Cancer. When things weren't going well, his father passed away. He wrote his own show, got on Showtime, took off, one-person show in the theaters, and it was insane. He got The Ref and all those movies, but then...
It was great in The Ref.
But then he got an offer for a movie called Tooth by Sea with Sandra Bullock. He got I think it was a $5 million offer.
Oh, what a prick.
His agent,
I hate him
his
now.
agent, James Dixon, said, I don't think you should do this movie. You were going to get the offer.
I would fire James Dixon after I got my $5 million check.
Don't do
Matty.
this. Don't do this movie. So James,
hold on, Matt. I offer you $5 million to jerk off a dog. I'm put on YouTube. But it'll get 50 more people saw Angela Johnson's nail salon bit on YouTube than saw Two If by Sea, starring Dennis Leary and
Sandra Bullock.
So I say to you, Maddie, I'm going to have you jerk off a homeless guy, and we're going to put it up on the internet. It's going to get 50 million hits, but I'm going to give you $5 million.
Yeah. I say yes. I would do it for free.
Barry's
I would do it for a hot dog.
Being serious, I know you're being serious. Barry says to you, you can't jerk off homeless guys for $5 million, man. You got a great career ahead of you, man.
No, I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Great. So let's keep going here. So Dennis takes the movie. The movie bombs. He fires James Dixon.
That's the best part of the story.
I call up
stupid James Dixon.
I hear James Dixon represented John Stewart, Ray Romano, all these, amazing packages of things. And I call up Dennis right when I hear the news because James called me, said he fired me. I said, Dennis, how can you fire James Dixon? I mean, your career's going great. He told you not to do that movie. And there was a pause on the end of the phone. You could hear Dennis with a cigarette because he always smoked. It was like, Barry, I can't fire myself.
That's it's like when a baseball team sucks balls, the old adage is you can't fire 25 guys. Like the team sucks. The manager may be a great manager, but you can't fire all 25 guys on the team. So you go, manager, you can't fire. That's fucking great.
Right. So let's go back to you. So You're similar to Angela and Bo with the podcast because here you start. It's 0-0. There's 10,000, 20,000 people doing podcasts. They're getting like 500 people listening, 300, whatever it is. You make a leap of faith. You start. You admittedly are a technological disaster.
I don't know.
You can't print a script. You don't have a printer that you can't. You just not. You're not.
I'm like Paulie and Goodfellas. You have to come to my house to give me a message.
Twitter.
True.
Twitter. You're like, Bear, I don't understand. I'm quitting Twitter. You didn't even get a smartphone until probably a year ago.
Yeah. What's the point of getting a smartphone if a dummy's working it?
So here he is.
It's not a bad line.
He starts the pod.
Maybe I should film myself saying that. Put it on YouTube and see how many hits we get.
He starts this podcast, okay? And it's been about, let's say, a year and 3 months, okay? Tell the audience how many people have downloaded this podcast.
14 million.
14 million. America speaks. They tell you when you're doing what they love, and they'll tell you when you're doing what they don't love. And there are many comics out there who are tremendous comics. You look at somebody like Christopher Titus. The guy is a tremendous comic. He got 5-hour specials. He's almost like Stephen Wright. He's like a car driving down the highway at 65 miles an hour. Guy never goes down, never goes up. It just keeps the same lane of audience, working those comedy clubs for like 10 years. One of the rarest things there is a guy who can keep it going like that. But he never creates anything like that thing. Like, I'm going to give you one more example where somebody like Chris, Bill Burr was working these comedy clubs, not really doing great, but it's had a steady audience, but not becoming a star. One day he's on a show in Philadelphia. He's on with a bunch of guys. It's a rowdy crowd. They're booing him off the stage. Somebody picks up their camera and starts filming.
It was an Opie and Anthony show.
Opie and Anthony show. He snaps. He says, fuck you. The only thing that's in this town that's famous is somebody who's not even a human being, Rocky or whatever the hell. And he just went at them and he won them over in that past 5 minutes. That went on YouTube and millions of hits. And then he started selling out comedy clubs and theaters and things like that. Now, that was a fluke, but it happened. And that's what took him to the next level. And somebody like Titus needs something that he creates that takes that thing, because he's already got that audience, but they're still saying, yeah, we love you. We love you sort of like we loved Carlin to a slightly lesser drawing extent, but we don't like you enough to sell out theaters and arenas.
We
and
love you
things
in a
like
comedy club way,
That's
not in
right.
a theater way.
That's right, because you're not heavily
Brian
in demand.
Regan, Jim Gaffigan,
Because we're
we love
not
you in a
passing
theater
on
way.